Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into some really unique source material. It's a first-hand account, and this is the key part, supported by actual rare video evidence of encounters with the men in black.
Those enigmatic figures, yeah. Usually just in stories or like alleged sightings.
Exactly. These dark-suited figures supposedly silence or intimidate UFO witnesses. So we're going to explore one man's story, his decades-long experience, and try to figure out what it might mean.
Right. And while the MIB, the Men in Black, are such a huge part of pop culture, the movies and all that,
Sure.
what we're doing today is different. We're moving beyond fiction to look at these alleged real-world encounters.
From one person's viewpoint.
Exactly. Our goal is really to unpack the details from this specific source, see what this individual claims happened to him.
Okay, so let's start with the big moment. 2016, this individual, we're calling him LaRook. He says he actually captured Men in Black on video.
Which is just, incredibly rare, if true.
Right. He calls them creepy and odd. And honestly, seeing the stills from this video, you kind of get why. It's immediately intriguing.
But what's almost more interesting is why he filmed it then.
Okay.
Well, LaRook mentioned that in his previous encounters, when he was alone, he'd feel this intense fear.
Paralyzing fear, he said.
Exactly. So intense he couldn't move, couldn't even think to grab his phone.
Oh.
But this time, in 2016, he had a witness with him, a friend. And apparently, her presence somehow broke that pattern. It allowed him to actually act, to document it.
So the fear might be like a tool they use to prevent being recorded.
That's a profound thought, isn't it? Maybe it's a defense mechanism. It certainly makes you wonder.
And his description of them in the video, it's just weird. He said they looked really pale, almost robotic, and they moved together like in unison.
Right, and the clothes.
Yeah. The clothes, like something from the 1940s or 50s, he said. Very out of place for New Orleans, and definitely not Mardi Gras time.
No easy explanation there.
None.
And how he filmed it is interesting, too. He held his iPhone sort of hidden, down at waist level.
Ah, okay. That explains the shaky footage, then.
It does. But here's the thing. He strongly felt they knew they were being filmed.
Even with the phone hidden.
Even then. Which suggests, a certain level of awareness, maybe even perception beyond the norm. How do they react when they know they're being watched?
It adds another layer. And this 2016 video, it wasn't the start of it for him, was it?
Not at all. That's what makes this so compelling. This wasn't some random one-off weird event.
No.
LaRook's history with these figures. It goes back decades. His first memory, 1975, at his home.
Wow, so this has been basically his whole life.
Pretty much. He describes this very specific pattern.
Okay.
Whenever he moves somewhere new, if he stays longer than about 3 months, they show up.
They find him.
Yes. And he says they always make eye contact. They're just letting him know, we see you, we know where you are.
That's incredibly unnerving, like constant surveillance.
It implies a deliberate, ongoing interest in him specifically.
And you mentioned the fear earlier. He talks about it being so intense. He's literally frozen. Can't move, can't grab his phone. He actually wonders if they project it somehow.
That's a fascinating question. Is it an external influence? Some kind of ability they have. It really pushes into strange territory.
Did they ever, say anything to him?
Well, that's another chilling detail. He only recalls them speaking to him once. Just once.
What was that?
1989. He was on a crowded street in New York City.
Okay.
And one of these men in black leaned in close, right next to his ear, and said, "Get this. Don't take yourself so seriously. They won't believe you anyway."
Whoa.
Right? Just think about that message.
That's deeply disturbing. It's like they know people will dismiss his story.
Exactly. It's almost like they're using human skepticism as another tool, fostering self-doubt, ensuring disbelief surrounds them, a kind of psychological manipulation.
So the big question then is, why? Why him? Why does LaRook think they're following him?
He has a very specific belief about that. He's convinced it's connected to something else he says has happened throughout his life.
Which is?
He believes he's been abducted since he was a child. He says it started when he was just 3 years old.
Abducted. Presumably not by the MIB.
That connection isn't explicitly made in the same way, but he sees the MIB interest because of the abductions.
Okay, I see.
And it goes deeper. He says he actually remembers these abductions. And even more remarkably, about 4 years before this interview, he met someone and discovered that this person had apparently been abducted right alongside him multiple times since they were 15.
Wow. Seriously, something else remembered being with him.
That's his claim.
Yeah.
It adds this layer of, well, potential corroboration to experiences that are usually incredibly isolating.
That's huge. And there's another connection too, right? For people who follow ufology.
Yes, a really fascinating little detail. This friend, the one he says was abducted with him,
Yeah.
apparently used to live next door to Betty and Barney Hill.
To Betty and Barney Hill, the most famous abduction case ever.
The very same. So it kind of slots his personal unusual story right into the larger, more well-known narrative within ufology. It's quite a connection.
So having this video,
Yeah.
what did that do for LaRoque personally?
Oh, it seems like it was immensely important for him. He talked about relief, validation.
I bet.
And he said before the video, he felt people just thought he was, a little bit nuts.
Mm-hmm.
His words.
Understandable. These are extraordinary claims.
But the video, for him, it changed things. It was some kind of proof, at least for himself.
But there was that weird incident with the video file itself, right? With his friend.
Ah, yes. That adds another layer of strangeness. His friend, the witness, who was there in 2016, she tried to get the video from him, like send it to her phone, and apparently her phone just completely fried, died.
Seriously.
And not only that, all her vacation photos from that trip were wiped, deleted, gone.
But the interviewer, the person talking to LaRoque, they managed to get the video okay.
Yes, they downloaded it successfully, and apparently it's being shared now.
So, what does that mean? Is it like selective interference? Can they target evidence somehow?
It definitely raises questions, doesn't it, about potential influence, maybe even technological disruption related to evidence. It just deepens the mystery around them.
And it really highlights how rare this kind of video evidence is. Usually it's just maybe a grainy photo from a security camera, if anything.
Exactly. Surveillance photos are one thing, but a personal video recording like this, very, very unusual in MIB lore. And the effect on LaRoque is striking, too. He says that despite everything, all the fear over the years, actually capturing the video made him less fearful.
Really? That's counterintuitive.
It is, but it points to the psychological power of having some kind of documentation, doesn't it? Validation. Maybe having proof, even cryptic proof, gives back some sense of control or understanding when you're dealing with something so profoundly strange and frightening.
So, wrapping this up, LaRoque's whole story, it's this decades-long narrative of fear, these unsettling MIB encounters, this link he feels to childhood abduction. And then finally, this moment of capturing video, which brings both validation and its own weirdness, like the phone frying. It really forces you to think.
It does. And it leaves us with a question, really. If knowledge is power, like the saying goes,
Yeah.
how does documenting something, even something most people might find unbelievable, actually empower the person who experienced it? And how might it start to shift how we all think about these things?
What does it mean for how we see reality when someone's deeply personal story suddenly bumps up against some kind of tangible, even if confusing, evidence?
Exactly. It's about the intersection of personal narrative and potential proof.
Lots to think about there. We really encourage you, the listener, to mull over the implications of stories like LaRoque's when we try to understand phenomena that seem, well, unexplained. Keep digging, keep questioning what might lie beyond the obvious.